These are the best highlights from all the matches of the day during the 2024 LPL Summer Split.
But if they can get it in the right place, but then of course they bring in and out LP in Summer as well, and they're going on to Able at this point. So that's the fourth AD carry in the year so far, and that's a jump onto the jungler.
We said he can't afford to fall behind. This'll put him behind. First blood for Hung.
Playing right now, I think we see Xi'an into it just because he can survive and then out-team fight at points, even if you lose that individual lane. So WWE, they say, alright, gonna be down in CS anyway, whatever, let's go towards bot side, it's gonna take that dragon. They have really...
As well, people would love to dive and all, and sure, you get a couple of kills, but he still upgrades items. He still has massive engage for the late game team fights. RNG contesting the grubs here, and nicely done by them. That'll lead to 5 grubs, as it's been a very quiet early game. It's been all about these objectives. Wayward just gets underneath the tower. Are they going to commit to a dive here? Wayward should be able to just run away from this one. And that'll be the first tower going down. Fofo is trying to answer on the bottom side of the map. Drake being taken by WE. Don't know if Fofo will be able to actually finish a tower. Mark, this is not your side of the map, buddy. Everyone else is over at Drake. What are we doing at Red Buff?
Dying, I think. So, RNG get themselves on the board. WE, they do trade towards the bot.
Starting this one off, and it looks like, I mean, Hung is moving over. I don't think he'll be here in time to contest.
I don't think it's a great idea to be giving up Herald, but I suppose if they feel like they're not ready to fight until they get to, 2 items, that makes sense. If they think they can't win the fight, then that makes obviously a lot of sense. Especially with Mark kind of losing his flash, maybe that hurts him from getting on.
Ways about it. But we'll see. We'll see how that's going to go. Oh, flash from Hung, followed up by an ultimate. Juice flashes over the wall, but a TP being channeled. Equalizer is trying to turn the engage, but the whole gang is on the way. Blast Cone gets him over the wall. Able flies into the action. Juice solo at HP, and finally will go down just about. Hung is low and way trying to trade it. WE only get 1.
And loses that flash, but WE, they overcommit. Well, they commit towards a kill, but they're going to lose themselves a top lane in a turret, which is going to be 700 gold over to Tainuan. Huan Fong gets away safely, but I feel like WE, they overcommit a little bit. Tainuan's off to the side, just pushing out that mid lane, going to take the turret, and while this is happening, WE are still getting poked out in the 4v5.
Tainuan doesn't commit to the tier 2 in the mid lane, returns to the potential play. Keep your eyes on Ming. That engage has to be crucial for RNG. Wayward still tanking. W's buffers the hook.
Mark.
And here we go onto the backline. Mark sets it up onto Juice. The rest of the team diving on board, but Juice survives. It's Hung to go down instead. They're trying to burst the Drake here. They don't have a smite into play, which means Way can just move in and sweep it up. WE, they lose a death. They lose the Drake, maybe lose more as RNG chase them out of the jungle. The poke continues to rain down as WE flee with their tails between their legs. All of this in the mid lane. Wayward forced away. Juice equalizer burns him to a crisp, and Juice comes out on top.
He picks the Kasansei into the Rumble, but it's not for the 1v1, and this is exactly why. The Rumble is so good at dealing with these bruises, and now Juice with a huge advantage. RNG with a huge advantage. Need to just try and close out this game. WE, I think they're really struggling.
I mean,
WE, they're kind of just snatching and grabbing for plays. Wayward alone on this side lane after Fofo teleported bot there too. Maybe just hasn't got himself out of the mindset of him being on the try and catch Tainuan, and they don't even get that. They lose the dragon, they lose a flash on their AD carry. Yes, Soraka in the Nidalee to heal you up as well. The poke sticks.
Hung caught, but he's happy to be on the front line. Equalizer goes down. It doesn't really land. Mark, though, might just fall. There's no follow-up for WE. Fofo's on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and he's hit level 16, sure. Yeah, WE want to put him towards the side lane. He's teleporting in now to try and look if they can 4v5. Better
late than never, or is it? Time to find out. Wayward goes in on the front line, but he's just not tanky enough. Look at the damage coming out from RNG. WE consistently pushed away. Full retreat now. They've stopped the Baron. Can they survive the play? Tainuan chasing for more. Way looking for a spear as Fofo desperately tries to get out of this one. Hung next on the chopping block as Fofo continuously chunk. The laser comes out. The blast go to safety. We talked about maybe they can get a win on the board. This would be their second game win of the split if they can get this first win and try and contest this Baron. That'll be Drake 2.
Yeah, and 3 Mountain Dragons for RNG now. This is only getting worse. You're getting to the point where, Ming, just with the Celestial opposition and a bunch of HP and like one defensive item coming in is going, but it's still going to be a big damage amount that needs to come through from them, and the Baron started again.
Mark and Hung have to try and check this one. Wayward has TP available. He's in the bot side right now, but the Baron might just go down here. TP into the pit. Hung gets into the pit as well. Bit of poke coming out from Abel. The tanks are tankier. Equalizer goes in. Abel on the back line. Shocks against everyone, but WE, that's their engage. It seems like it's gone, and RNG is still full health. Wayward stuck in the pit now, all out to find one. There's a pick onto Ming. Suddenly 4 remain from RNG. WE, they make it out, but at the end of the day, RNG got the Baron.
Wow,
in another 1v1 with Wayward. Wayward's down to half HP, and Way's on the way as well. Wayward has stepped miles out of position here. He's just going to be taken down for free.
Juice has just knocked this guy for 6. Wayward's not got to play this game. Yes, you expect that the Cassante loses in the early lane and kill onto one of the key frontline members from WE, and they still have the equalizer available. It's not like Juice even had to use that if he wants to teleport in and use that, which is exactly what he could do now.
And that's going to be the base broken open. That is RNG knocking on the door. 15 seconds on Wayward. It's not enough.
Very well.
Yeah.
Feels like they've just been so discoordinated compared to what we know they can be.
Hung takes an equalizer. Remember that time when we said Nidalee will fall off compared to Sejuani late game? With ults like these, even Nidalee looks relevant late game. Spears continuously landing. Mark goes in, last ditch engage for WE. Can they find the damage? RNG health bar's low. Juice has to turn golden. Wayward still tanking on the front line. Can the AD carries pop off? Can they finally find the fight? Abel gets 2 as Fofo tries to finish the job. One Fung the target, and he pops him. Way and Fofo in a 1v1 now. And suddenly the game explodes. It's open wide, and RNG sent packing.
Finally, WE find a fight. It's not even a clean.
RNG, a TP comes in from Wayward behind enemy lines. Tanguin's already halfway through the Drake though. Vision now in the pit. They're just going to burst this. They're not even there in time. WE, they lose the soul as RNG waltz out away from the plate. I'm not sure Wayward can stop them escaping either. RNG corralled onto the bottom side of the map, but they don't even...
On that soul, so hard to cut through anyone on this team. Yeah, they managed to break down the front line in that last play. Can they do that again? It's another missed ult.
Hung trying to find the angle, but does not find anything. Fofo now just going to try and trade in the mid lane. He pushes towards an inhibitor. Equalizer comes down. It will be at best a trade as the bot inhib goes down for RNG. The mid inhib can go down. That is 3 inhibitors for RNG if they can finish this middle one. Wayward finds the Q3. Mark actually goes for the engage, and the fight begins. WE looking to turn things. The knock-up on Abel buys a little bit of time for RNG, but that's all of the engage gone at this point. Wayward gets the knockback. Tanguin joins the play as well as Abel has to back away. Wayward will go down on the back line. 4 members strong for RNG. They've got a 4v3 and a chance to end the game.
Oh, and Fofo couldn't get himself into the fight, was too far away and teleports back to the Nexus turret. He's not there to break the ankles of Huanfeng again, and now I think you're right with the man in Salt with Bloodthirster shields. They think they can take it.
Hung's going to go down, surely. Abel does survive, and Hung actually survives as well. RNG's health bars are low. Huanfeng wants to finish the job, diving forward for Hung and forces a flash. But WE still survive. 3 inhibs.
Split a really big late game advantage, and they couldn't quite close it off. In one of their last games in their last series here in group stage, they would really like to buck that trend. WE, they might have to have themselves a smite steal on the Baron. That's if they choose to contest it at all. I think WE take a look towards it. All of those items arrayed inside, and they think, yeah, maybe not. In terms of wave play, the 500 CS win condition, maybe that can carry WE through a game like this.
I'm sure that can't be true. I'm sure I'm going to be corrected on that one. Here we go, ults in, knockback, Ming the target, but he survives. Now depth charge onto Wayward, Hung escaping on the top side of the play.
This is why you can sometimes pick the Cassante into the Rumble. Is it enough to use Defender's advantage where you can go back and heal from the fountain and last out this siege?
Surely RNG don't lose this. Mark goes for the engage again, Ming on the front line here. Way trying to get some damage down, but Way might just fall himself. Abel chasing, all out comes through, and Wayward finds the kill. 4v3 now in favor of WE. It's flipped around from the previous play. Wayward over the wall. Can he get out with his life though? Juice is there to try and close the gap. Wayward has to try and survive. He has teleport available. If he can get out of vision, he might just be able to get away with it.
He's
onto
going.
the Nexus towers. Wayward with the great escape.
Oh, smooth criminal move. Close to the point now where he can buy up even the extra 80 carry item. Is that going to be enough? That amount of gold for the Elder Dragon spawning now. Can the big carries of WWE find that pocket?
Juice and Tanguan have gone topside. They want to try and trade perhaps, or maybe TP into the play, but the Elder is down to 10k and Wei is not going to be able to get into the pit. RNG, this is a terrible call. You had to contest. That's Elder for WE. They're going to be able to go for resets here. They're trying to split the fight. RNG want to deny recalls, but they're just going to try and end the game in the meantime. The solo laners are in the base. The recalls have not come through just yet. Bofo goes back and tries to defend, but he's on his own, and the Nexus is going to fall. WE, they needed to retreat. They needed to defend, and instead, Tanguan breaks the Nexus, and RNG find their game.
And the Draven, if they end up getting ahead and forcing WE to play respectfully, I think that WE could fall into a big draft deficit if they have legitimate quest, maybe not so on their recent sweep, to get themselves some good structure damage across the map.
So WE off a mid prio and bot prio will get this first Drake of the game. And we've not really talked about the bot lane matchup that much. Obviously, Draven Leona very aggressive. However, it's really hard to get onto a Rakan as Leona.
Yeah, he was pretty intense, like, what? I always thought you were reading my mind. Turns out you just had a tell.
Maybe a poker player in his spare time. Here we go, Juice gonna have to show us his poker face here. Needs to survive the CC chain. All out comes through onto Hung. Is it enough? The tower shot! It hits! And Juice does it again!
The side lane on the LeBlanc now. That's where RNG wants to put them. The LeBlanc, very strong side laning champion. But given how much of a locus of power that is, maybe they won't get to use it.
Caught out here, should just go down. That's a cash-in of 700 gold.
Shut down a cash-in to the other side on the Draven, so maybe that changes things yet again. What is Hung doing there without the flash? He doesn't have that amount of tankiness just yet into this game, and RNG walk away with a Herald, and that might just break things open a lot more than they would have.
Got the kill gold plus the 700 gold cash in. That's a big old swing, but WE, not to be deterred, will continue to stack these objectives. That's all 6 grubs, and it'll be the Drake on top of things as well. It's only the Herald that RNG have managed to get for themselves so far this game.
Yeah, it does feel like RNG getting that cash in, it does make things a little better. Wayward's going to get dove here. They have the Herald. It's going to be probably a kill. He has Flash and Dominus. Still, a lot of damage to be put towards him. Can he throw the Draven up? No, it's on cooldown. He probably kill him anyway.
Takes the tower, so he won't be able to get away from this one. Shotgun comes in. Tanguan finishes the job. That'll be tower in the top side as well. In the meantime, the bot lane tower is finished off by Fofo. But look at the mid lane. We've got Wonpong pushing in the mid lane. TP going to come through in that top side just to defend this tower even further.
What was
for the next view?
We had that one game, Ultra Prime Weibo? One of those games. Oh, Abel.
Hung moves into the river here. It's just an engage straight away from RNG. Double knockup comes on through, but the front line just ain't tanky enough. Juice forced away, and I don't think he'll get out of dodge. Hung finds the kill. His WE open up for a third Drake, and they stay strong in this game.
Solo that one down though. Hung's coming up to help. Huge damage, of course, from the AD carry at this point. Has the Flicker Blade as their second item. He's going to take that one easy peasy. And despite RNG using the logic of blow the Zyre ultimate with these low cooldown ultimates.
WE, this is a fight that they need, and it's a good chunk onto Tanguan from Wayward, but trade back in the end. Roots come on through as Mark hunting for the engage. Wonpong has been found, cleanses though in the all-out to try and peel for the AD carry. Solar Flares, a bit of a miss as Tanguan behind enemy lines gets onto Fofo but can't finish the kill. Q3 doesn't hit. Juice just face plants the wall as Abel takes over the fight and finds one for himself. WE staying as a 5 as Tanguan continuously poking in, but RNG are sent packing, and that should be Drake for WE.
And RNG, do they have anything left in them? I think they're sticking around somehow looking for a steal, but it might just give another kill over.
That's going to be Ocean Soul in the pockets of WE. Tanguan.
And they don't have their AD carry or cooldowns to defend. The Baron, WE get themselves both objectives in one fell swoop.
No wards in the pit. Juice is going to try and remedy that fact. Way moving in down the river. Tanguan TP's on the top side for the flank, but the Baron's already gone. Way next on the target list as Juice tries to protect his jungler, but WE, they've got away with murder here. Baron take from just kind of watched him hit them. Like,
yeah.
we saw Wei try to hit the backline, Huanfeng
Hey,
trying to hit the
where's the
backline.
rock? Who's got the rock? We forgot the rock.
Yeah, I guess Abel's got the rock. He's the bird with
Yeah.
the rock, and he's now dropped. He's like one of those birds that, you know how crows remember faces and they'll poo on the same car if you're a bit of a arsehole to him. Anyway, moving on. You've got Chips and a crow wants one. Give him, because they are vindictive animals and they're very clever. That's all I'm saying. Abel among that number. Oh, Tangyuan. It was his clone that got chunked, but the Baron should lead to a mid lane inhibitor. Wei is trying to get a flank, but not sure how confidently he could just step up here. Hunk pushes him away. Mid inhib taken. WE much.
A really big problem now that the Ocean Soul gives Abel an extra step up in his itemization. Didn't go towards the Bloodthirster, keeps walking forward. Full HP, full damage.
I think that's going to be a kill on Juice. Huanfeng falls as well, and that might just be game. Honestly, out of nowhere, RNG found in the jungle, and the Baron minions can push on forwards. No TPs to keep these minions alive. Wei going to try and clear that wave, but he clears himself off of the table instead. WE, I mean, only 7 kills on the board by the end of the game, but 7 was enough for them. Finding a win in a clean fashion in Game 2.
But that's where the game changes. RNG have that opportunistic pick. They can have the Renekton on a flank. You can have the Ahri and the... Oh, he's quite low HP. Whoever tanks aggro is going to be in a bit of trouble now because Wei's lost HP.
There's no level 6 for Juice either, but they're going to try and make it happen. Cannon underneath the tower. Juice flashes. Chain stuns come on through. Reset is there. Juice does take the shot, and it's a 1-for-1, but Wei would lose some minions. They swing around and nobody dies. But Wei, in the meantime, he's going to grab himself a Drake, which is a pretty nice little pickup. Hung pathing towards that top side, but it's possible RNG could content the grubs as well. It's not like Hung has done it. Something up here. Wayward does have flash available. A late hit. Wayward is suspicious. He knows something's going on, but Way's going to try and make it happen anyway. There's the flash. Stun, followed by swing around to the big old sword, and that's a reset. That's Wei grabbing.
Going to be facing up against RNG, especially against those resets from the Blade of the Ruin King on the Ruined King.
Ming is waiting on that blast cone. Little does he know, he's on vision right now. Abel going to be forced away. Here comes the Poppycopter to try and punt someone. Ming is gone, and that's an opportunity for WE to burst down this Drake and get themselves that neutral objective.
For them, they don't want to be fighting into RNG too haphazardly right now with those threats of those resets around.
I think one of the best things for WE there was Renekton wasn't involved at his strongest moment in the game, but he will be involved in this one. Dominus behind enemy lines with the Hex Gates as well. Dives into the mix, but Hung denies his entry, and it's Wei to go down instead. Shut down for Fofo, and Juice not long for the world as he tries to escape over the wall. Here the Skarner all dodged by Tangyuan, who gets a reset of his own. It turns into an absolute scrap between the two teams as a Hex Gate back out to safety for Fofo. 4 grubs for 2, a kill apiece. Tangyuan
has flash.
Abel dodges it. Ming doesn't get dodged though. Flash away from the arrow from Huanfeng.
So RNG, again, this kind of even-ish fight is much better for WE than they should expect. Juice, wall stunned.
Pushed underneath the tower, and Hung might just get himself solo killed. No! Fofo slides in from the side and grabs credit. And honestly, using it in the previous team fight, it's going to be RNG on the Herald once again off the back, chunking out Mark.
Mark's got to be careful now. Next time the charm lands onto anyone, it can be dangerous. Here we go.
Wayward not tanky enough just yet. There we go. Reset does come on through for Wei. Looks for Abel next if a charm can land, but I think it's on cooldown.
And saying, look, someone's going to dash into the Poppy. If I can use that W to get myself some extra playmaking potential, that can be worth it. Taking down the mid lane turret with the threat of that snowball, and that's an easy turret take for RNG.
Really nice stuff. This is going to be 2 turrets taken by RNG. We saw it in Game 1. We're seeing it again in Game 2. RNG in control of the map. They get
where are you going with this, buddy?
Charge. Ming is just going to use it as a taxi.
RNG, they've found themselves a current run of form. Game 1, strong early game. Couldn't quite close it, but they won.
Tier 2 going to be taken by RNG. Slow and steady wins the race, it would seem. And to be honest, with these drafts...
You can look at Mark for those big killer engages, but with the Banshees right now, with Ming being really tanky, I think it's really hard for W to find huge, big engages. This poke coming through from Fofo, blowing the spell shields, getting a little bit of HP damage as your opposing number. Oh, that's a wall stun!
Oh, snap engage and a half! Tangyuan just gets annihilated, slammed against the wall and finished off. And now WE...
Aaron, they can look to turn off of it.
It's confirmed Tang Yuan was a side character. He's been killed off by the writers, but WE looking to write a victory here. Mark on a flank. It's a good engage from Ming here, but outnumbered as WE charge through the front line, but they're getting taken apart themselves. RNG are winning a 4v5 right now. I don't know how they're making it happen, but they are making it happen. Wayward goes in, knocked asunder as Juice gets onto the backline. Abel will fall, and RNG make magic happen.
Oh, we haven't seen it for all of summer, but where there's a will, there's a way. The Viego resets, win the fight, but Royal never give up. And WE looking like they found themselves that perfect pick to start things off. Fall in the ensuing fight. Baron goes over to RNG, and WE...
Other three teams in the group, there might be the one win that RNG can get onto the standings.
However, worth noting, that's an objective bounce through mid lane that'll help them claw back some. Dread, this should just end up at an inhibitor. They're not wave clearing.
Where on earth are WE? They're trying to go for this straight that's up in 15 seconds, but RNG take an inhib turret in the meantime. Wayward now clearing in the base with no TP, and they've got a flank on WE. This is beautiful from RNG. Fofo, the target here, but first kill does go in the direction of WE, and Huangfeng is caught out of position. Suddenly, it flips once again, and WE are in the driver's seat, looking for a slow from Wayward as he tries to close the gap once again. Tang Yuan still has another blast of his ultimate. Charm goes wide, but WE should secure themselves a Drake.
Wait, teleporting bot lane! He's teleporting bot lane. Juice is going to get himself the inhib, and you're going to see Tang Yuan pushing mid lane as well. They're going to try and end the game. WE, you need to reset.
I don't think he can end the game right here. Drake goes the way of WE. Juice just not really on a split push champion. He'll return to the rest of his team, but RNG in the meantime break open the mid lane inhibitor tower as well, on top of getting a Nexus tower. Tries to play in deep vision. Wayward TP's up. RNG, they've got a TP out. They'd be happy with this one. That's a poppy ultimate though, and immediately everyone dives in. Impale across the team of RNG, and WE still going strong. Abel trying to carry, but Tang Yuan still alive, and the recess starts to come through on the side of RNG. They might just have done it. That's almost an ace in the side of RNG. Fofo sent packing, and an RNG looking for the game.
It's just Fofo alive. Can he wave clear? There's one Nexus turret left. There's a super mini wave in bot side. RNG, I think they found their first series victory.
Against all odds on their final series, RNG managed to redeem themselves and get a win on the board. They will not tie OMG at 0-6. They find their victory and they knock WE. Whoa, no, the inhib respawn. There's 8 seconds until Hung is back up. Mark has just respawned. I don't think the damage is there though. Abel's not up for another 10 seconds. The Nexus will fall. WE are knocked out of Group A.
Makes it easier for them to play. I wanted to see what these teams were like without that. So, BLG, they have themselves an Italy comp. They have themselves the Senna. Very, very powerful.
Smite. I'm not sure I even saw who got the smite. I think it was Meteor in the end, as now a stun comes through. Haichao trying to join the play, but Knight might just get first blood here. One more auto, and it's Xi'an to pick it up. Knight gets the heal, but in comes Jin Zhao to turn it around once more. Haichao with another kill, and BLG sent packing out of the jungle. Jin Zhao wants a little bit more. But I don't think it will save the buff. There's no smite available right now. Xi'an is going to go down here, I think. That's going to be the Zenith Blade landing. Meteor flashes, Pyroclasm bounces off of the Drake, and that's the passive on top. Oh, the Primal Surge is last second, the heal from Elk. Xi'an actually survives in the end of things. Now Jin Zhao, the target, as Cullen comes through onto Haichao as well, dodging the rocket, but the piercing light sidestepped as well.
Getting a bit of a trade back at least.
So I just want to apologize quickly on stream. Oh, hang on, we're going to dive. Okay, shall you? Just gets caught by on.
The fact that they haven't been is still okay for them. They're within acceptable margins right now. Need to make sure.
From Haichao, recall immediately channeled again, but there's no way he's getting home on this one. On trying to survive underneath the tower. Elk and Knight are on the way. On just has to survive as long as possible. Death charge across all three, and Jin Zhao has overstepped. On gets away with things, and now the chase down comes through. Oh, the might blocks the route from Elk, and it means I don't realize quite how much I rely on the sound cues. Bin takes a chunk. As we're posturing for a fight here. Knight's still up in the top lane. This is 5v4 to start off with. And On is caught out. Solar Flare to find the CC chain. He's pretty tanky, but not tanky enough. And Xi'an now stacking up on the Zeri. Bin turns it around, though. All Out comes into play and he dashes back into the team. Flashes to safety and survives, but Elka's gone down. Knight next on the chopping block is Xiaoya. He's got an even bigger Gatling gun, and Haichao finishes the job. That's Herald for LGD.
It's 4-for-1, and BLG, they fall behind now in the early game. The Herald's going to go over to LGD, and a huge amount of gold just went over to Xiaoya on that Zeri. Alongside a lot of the other members, you look at
going to come on through. We've got no game sound, so I think we should just do the game sounds for this team fight. Since there are absolutely no stakes in this game anyway, what difference would it make? But there's no team fight. There's no team fight. LGD just muscle their way in. It's team fight, though. I say we go for it.
It's like there are some of those rare opportunities where you said, like, oh, we can finally solo cast as a caster. Sometimes you're sat there and you're just waiting for those big moments. You're going straight in. And we get ourselves a fight under the turret.
Oh, the...
Pew, 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 pow, pow, pow.
Oh, he's pulled in.
Oh, he's going down.
I mean... There's too many things going on to realistically do any sound effects aside from just doing explosions. But there were
wake up. They don't want to be kept asleep.
Jin Chao caught by On here, and it's a knock-up going through onto Meteor, but he doesn't die. And Birdall's found a flank. That's Elk, but he flashes over the wall, and the uphill doesn't find his mark. Shun in the back of the pit will go down. LGD start the fight strong, but Knight wants to answer. It's LGD now in the pit, and that's a flash forwards from Bin. Rail going across the team's up with Xiaoya arriving on the play. Skarner goes down. Bin looking for more as he dives onto Xiaoya. On looking for a hook, and he won't find it. The flash comes out from Haichao as BLG now in full retreat. Jin Zhao wants to turn it around. The Zenith Blade is there. The Ultra Shock laser on top as well. Elk behind enemy lines. Is a trade for supports here. It's absolute carnage.
LGD have such a powerful Zeri, they can't allow Xiaoya that room to maneuver.
So now, Drake started again. This time LGD on the scene, and it's looking to be their second trade. Oh, the reset. Oh, that is brutal for LGD because Meteor has been tanking this whole time. He's getting kind of chunks, but doesn't fully reset. And LGD, Ocean mid, you got a Nidalee in the jungle as well. You kind of want to be finding yourself advantages. Birdall finds Bin here, the Q3 to get the knockback, the W as well, and actually separates LGD for a second. Solar Flare dodged, and now BLG coming alive in the fight. On pulled in by the Impale, CC'd up by Birdall. On is tanky, but not that tanky.
And you can just see again, BLG, the damage from this area as well, is making sure that backline doesn't have a clean fight. Now BLG, they're stuck behind the pit. They can check with traps and the javelin tosses, but the Baron is going down.
Baron start by LGD, and BLG want to contest it. There is vision in the pit right now. Shun is in the area. This would be dangerous to flip it, but they're just going to go for it. In fact, they just engage upon Shun, so he can't even contend. Rail going across the team. Q3 lands onto Birdall, but in the meantime, Shun is down. And LGD off onto Birdall here. The culling forces a flash out from the LGD top laner. Shun moving over as well as Knight looks for a little bit more. Birdall gets through the wall, but here comes Jin Zhao to try and answer, but the Zenith Blade goes wide. Shun caught up, trying to escape through the jungle now as the chickens run back into the picture. I thought that was Skarner for a second. It was a chicken.
Knight's dead?
Wait, Knight died in the meantime. That must have been an Ultra Shock laser, I guess. This is getting weird.
They've had some suspect games, and LGD want to make sure that they're not just suspect games, they are lost games. LGD, they walk away with another great skirmish, and yeah, I think it was just a W on the tower. He spots the recall coming through, while Xiaoya snipes him down. Knight, probably just caught shopping.
You hate to see it. You just...
Into the backline. That's not how you win League of Legends most of the time. Brand, if he ever gets significant damage off, is probably going to win a team fight at this point. So BLG need to find a way to find probably a pick outside of the 5v5. Onto Meteor if you can. He has a stopwatch. That's hard, but someone separate away from the 5v5 if they can manage it should be the goal. They're pushing in.
Trying to make siege happen in the mid lane. Solar Flare goes in. Are we looking for a fight here, LGD? They're outnumbered. It will be.
Gonna have to be on a pretty quick timer to contest Baron.
Health bars are low as well on Xi'an and Elk. There's a good amount of sustain here, but the Baron is so low already. BLG, they've got to try and find the fight instead. Railgun for shields across the team here. Depth charge onto Haichao as they're just going front to back. Birdall might just go down, but he dashes into the pit. Hook from on to find the kill. Spear goes into the backline as well as Haichao tries to chase out Xi'an and look for a return kill. Xi'an gets into the brush. One more auto will do the trick, but the rest of the fight is won by BLG, and Xi'an gets out with his life anyway. Suddenly, Haichao's alone. The back of the pit there potentially could be a TP ward, but it's only Knight with TP up, so you're not really expecting much of a flank there. On finds a hook onto Jinjiao as he comes in. Depth charge comes on through as well, and they one-shot him. That's the front line that just gets obliterated, and now LGD are scattered. Birdall flashes for the Impale. Maybe a chance of the show comes in onto Bin, and that's the front line down. Birdall pushing forwards as a route, lands from Elk, and Knight just about escapes with his life. Spears coming out to try and dodge everybody. Knight chased by Birdall, but Birdall can't.
The Dragon, it would be sold for LGD. I think it's going to get burned down.
TP is in Soul for LGD as On looks for a fight. Xi'an jumps in onto Haichao, but he's stuck in the back of the pit now on his own. Elk tries to get in to heal his jungler and gets him out of dodge, but in the meantime, On has gone down. Birdall is TPing behind the BLG players. Elk forced away. Xi'an 1 HP as the players stick together, heal each other up and try and stay in the fight, but they're surrounded, corralled, and will be taken down. Elk has nowhere to go as he burns to a cinder. LGD might just have done it.
I think this is LGD slapping about the reigning champions of the LPL with these death timers. I think LGD can march in with the Ocean Soul as well, buoying them.
Nymera thinks that LGD might just be the best team in the LPL right now. You heard it here first, folks. I don't know if that's representative, but I'm sticking with it. Knight trying to dive underneath the tower on the top side goes down. LGD have just about done it. The Impale for a couple of bonus kills on the back of everything. BLG, gods can bleed. LGD find a game against the leader of their group. The crowd as well, which is always good to see. As our draft now, it's going to be Haichao bringing the Jace alongside a little Xiaoya under the tower. Elk hunting for the QE. It hits onto Jinjiao. Bit of sustain from the Alistair is going a long way here. Those plants continue to get hits in. On looking under the tower. Xiaoya flashes with his first blood for Elk. As Jinjiao now alone underneath the tower. The Hawk finds him. The minions can't quite finish the kill. I don't even think On was ready for that to hit, but On flashes for a kill of his own, and now it's Meteor alone under the tower. Will it ever end? Meteor 1 HP, and Xi'an goes down. Meteor turns it around onto one, and On falls as well. Wait, it was an execute onto Xi'an?
Huh?
But it's not going to find the knock-up, not going to find more kills, but it will find themselves a Drake.
Yeah, no, Xi'an, I'm really impressed with how he very quickly gets himself to the play, goes to the Groves, understands that without the Dark Harvest page and going for the Comet page, you can get access to water walking, has the tier 2 boots, immediately walks down to the bottom side of the river, using that entirety of the river, successful.
Oh, Birdall going to go for an all-out in the top side, and Bin tries to just dive back through the wall, forced to flash. Birdall nicely played there, but Birdall had to flash as well to deny that. Bin has been caught, will be put to sleep. Meteor is here to finish the job. There's a kill into the pocket of Meteor as he potentially looks for Knight as well. That's an answer from Knight, and I think Knight wins these. He's looking for the 1v1. Meteor realizes he's got to get out of there.
Lucky the Knight for them because, of course, mid and jungle for BLG, adding insult to injury.
Oh, Jinjiao's alone, not level 6. Goes for the flash, keeps himself alive for a second. On was tanking and backs away. Jinjiao walks into the plants. I mean, stuck between a rock and a set of plants. I guess rocks.
It's a glorified ranged minion, and sadly for him, that is not that easy to deal with. Haichao is a little bit more strong, though.
Birdall looks for Bin once more. All out comes into play. Bin, I think, is just going to try and escape from this one. Has that flash available. Uses the flash before diving through the wall, and it means it can't be blocked. Jinjiao, worst case. And there we go, CC lands. In the meantime, Herald slammed in the mid lane. BLG trying to find things elsewhere as Knight just gets absolutely thumped in the top side. Birdall trying to capitalize on something. Actually flashed away. I'm not sure he needed to flash there.
I think, was he flashing out of the roots from Zyra? Maybe that was the case, because if that was the case, yeah. Elk on walking towards topside, they might be able to catch Haichao. Doesn't have flash, yeah, they catch him.
Knight, Haichao sees what Knight was doing, and he's like, you know, Knight, you're one of my idols. Anything you can do, I'll do as well. On may have overstepped for this one, as the TP is actually cancelled. Now it's a 2v2. Meteor trying to get onto Elk, but he cleanses away from the dot there, so the sleep won't come on through. Hostile takeover hits as Meteor trying to get the damage in again, but the rend is stacked up and Elk survives. He looks for a second onto Jin Zhao, and now 1v1 with Xiaoya. He's so far ahead, and the reinforcements arrive. Barrier once again. Elk is king of the bot lane. From Elk and on there as a duo, the Mikhails, like you say, absolutely perfect. I'm going to be honest, when I saw the cleanse come through, I thought it was a little bit early. I was scared because, you know, you can cleanse the initial dodge over the wall towards enemy territory. I'm not sure he's getting out of this one.
Baron's getting started.
Just dives on top, Impale onto two. He's surviving for so long in this play. Baron is just spawning.
It's Zyra,
and
it's
that's
20 minutes.
Zyra. So many plants on the scene already. TP into the top side from Haichao. Jin Zhao is here as well. BLG, they don't get away with this one.
Oh, he's ready to reset. The plants are back.
The plants certainly are back. They're just going to try and burn it with everyone here. Actually using the Zyra ult just to buff up the plants. They're going for it. Burnal's there. Meteor's not in the pit. That's Baron taken. And now the plants can change targets onto LGD, who are desperately trying to get into the mix. But they're coming in one by one, separated in the fight. Burnal trying to find more, but Knight dashes apart and takes him to pieces. Good shot from Haichao on the backside of the play. But that is all LGD will find. 3 kills and a Baron for BLG. They might just look for more as well. Meteor found by Bin here. The slows are in. Knight finds it with the fate sealed in the end, and Haichao is left alone.
Their own mental just a little bit in that game one, but they're well awake in this one. Such a good snowball, such a good play around the Baron. Some lazy resets from LGD have just snowballed into oblivion.
He's gone, he's gone. There's a kill for Bin as well, a little bit of a consolation. As BLG with Baron now try and pressure multiple lanes. Perhaps Knight has been found out here. Fate sealed. Not going to be available, and actually comes out. The face seal comes out to Birdol. In the end, it does trade, and Birdol dodges away from the stun from Bin. In the meantime, Elk trying to get onto Jin Zhao on the opposite side of the play. Bin gets the kill onto Birdol. Overall, a
bit of 1-for-1, sure. I guess that ends up being okay for it. Xi'an, he's got no mana either, no flash, no cleanse, probably no life.
I don't know if he's getting out of this one alive, as he just gets slowly but surely battered down, cut in half by the chainsaws of Bin.
BLG just don't stop either. They get themselves kills in mid lane and bot lane. Yes, they lose Knight, but, well, whatever. They got so many other people alive. Just whatever, small thing. And they get themselves Infernal Soul right at the end of that. It feels like a small thing. There's been no...
But perhaps LGD have more in the tank for game number 3, especially with Fearless Draft. You never quite know what's going to happen.
Yeah, they won't be able to play any of these champions again. You can play this stuff with the enemy teams played throughout the series, but nothing you've picked yourself. BLG, this will of course be their last series of playing, and LGD, their last series of playing Fearless. Goes back to standard draft in the next stage, so this is the last chance to show your learnings on this format. BLG pushing in for the killer blow.
Jin Zhao, Chung does have the unbreakable will, but actually just flashes to get onto the Nexus, heal himself up, and now the last is an opportunity to do so. Bit of damage onto Jin Zhao, who is trying to get some wards in, but Bin, in the meantime, has found Haichao. It just feels like BLG are poking at every single angle simultaneously. Bin is just winning the 1v1 against the enemy mid laner. The flash doesn't even save him. Bin practically solo kills Haichao. And in the meantime, Xi'an has just started soloing
Wait, can
Baron.
he solo it? So he has himself pretty much max plants available, uses the ult again, but they're going to run out of duration. He'll get it to about half HP. Folks, I think someone has to go help him.
No.
Still on it.
I mean, he'll survive, right? The plants will just keep going. He's got Infernal Soul. He could do this. Elk's going to ruin it, but Xi'an could have soloed that. I'm confident.
There it is. Inhibitors down for LGD. Teleport in. This should be it.
BLG are just another breed, aren't they? Xi'an solos Baron while Bin is solo killing the enemy mid laner. And that'll be 3 inhibs. That will be the Baron buff minions. Xiao on a blast cone flank of the century, but I'm not sure he's finding anything on this one. As Knight just looks for the 1v1 on the enemy Alistair. Xi'an gets back onto the fountain, only just Birdle trying to buy space for his team. LGD desperately fighting one last fight. The hostile takeover denies any follow-up from Meteor's ult, and the impale means you can't even hide on the fountain. Nowhere is safe against BLG.
Fighters or tanks. Somehow one of them ends up building it. Remember Death Stance Ezreal when it was a purely defensive item? That was not okay.
Remember blue build Ezreal where he just goes like frozen heart second item or whatever into everything else?
Do you remember the Runeglaive?
Team BLG, they've got 4 different champions that have dashes that could be blocked. But a nice engage from On in the bottom side means Jin Zhao is just gone. That's first blood for Elk, and that is a lot of sparring. Meteor trying to get up towards this crab. Both smites are available. This is a stack, and Meteor finds his angle. Birdle now flashes to get onto Xi'an, knocks him up, sets up for the damage of Meteor, and gets a kill for himself. Not contending with them, BLG starting these grubs off again. They got the first 3 already. Jin Zhao forced to get out of dodge. That's 4 grubs for BLG. They should be happy with that. And maybe don't want to fight. Pyroclasm comes out onto LGD as everybody dives on top of Birdle in the top side of the play. Smite not available for Xi'an. It is for Meteor, so that should be another... No, it's taken by Xi'an. Was that an auto attack?
On the Tristana, he's looked really good. On Haichao's LeBlanc, maybe you can talk about Lunfeng and his Akali or Yasuo or something like that too. Excited to see these champions. It's been a game where LGD have managed to at least hold back what's happening in the bot side. Somewhere along the way also, Meteor has got the 4 marks. So range increase for Meteor, very, very important. This Kindred is another damage threat. If you do get ahead of the game, if you get a lot of good marks, we've already talked about how it affects your entire kit. He's not here for the play right now though.
Jin Zhao's caught up and will... Oh, Elk arrived!
Stats for these players, either historically or recently.
It certainly is. Aside from the Corki. Nice Corki. I don't want to talk about it. Meteor jumps over the wall and finds Bin on the other side. The Croc is here in the middle of the mix. Meteor survives, though, and doesn't have to use that ultimate. Jin Zhao wished he did, though, as he falls. In the meantime, Haichao taking a beating from Knight.
Out of that Herald, but now BLG down an important gauge tool. I don't think they can take a fight around this if On doesn't have a good combo. BLG might have to just sit and watch this go down.
It's going to go down so fast at this point. This will be the Drake taken for LGD. It's just a question of whether a fight can happen afterwards. Haichao nearly solo kills Elk in the backside as On is suddenly in amongst the entire LGD squad. I mean, it's sole point and it's a freebie on the back of it.
And Meteor also gets himself Mark 6. He's almost at his 2nd range increase on the Kindred. BLG, they showcases some classic Safari kill. That would have been the 2nd range increase just before the ocean spawns. Bin loses flash. Would have to teleport in. It's more Safari League of Legends. BLG just watching the wildlife die.
That is Ocean Soul for LGD, and BLG just look none the wiser. They look completely nonplussed on this one. I guess this is going to be a call for a tier 1 in the mid lane. We're getting to desperation stations for BLG.
Yeah, they were just bird watching. They watched the dragon go down, not contested it. They are pushing in mid lane, but they might get teleported on. Here comes Birdle.
Mid tier 2 goes down. Shoya just gets one shot. He's gone. It's like a magic trick. I thought LeBlanc was on his team. And now looking towards Birdle on the top side. This is the moment for Meteor to separate himself from the pack here. If he can manage to make this fight work, if he can find the smite, if he can find the fight. BLG committing. Look at the damage across the roster though. Health bars all getting so damn low, but not as low as LGD. Meteor late on his ultimate is On, jumps in to protect himself, and Birdle falls. Meteor flashes to safety, but he's the only living member of his squad as BLG find more.
Oh, that's the ult, not quite Ocean Soul, and is healing off for jungle camps, so they're going to go towards it. Meteor doesn't have flash. This should still be going down. There's no teleports to commit to this either.
There's no vision. Meteor, the only way to know this is happening is to go in face first, and he doesn't see it from the rush. He's just spotted it, but it's too late. The Baron is gone. Meteor desperate to answer, but he just...
Ocean Soul for the rest of the game, of course, but BLG have the Baron to maybe snowball things in the next minute.
It's the reality of playing AD carry in a professional setting. You make one mistake and you...
Maybe that makes a difference, but, you know, then you've lost your Ezreal, you've lost your LeBlanc, and we did say that this can be a hyper carry Kindred, but it is not that damaging just yet.
This Ocean Soul doesn't seem to be doing very much right now as Elk dives in. Maybe the Ocean Soul is doing something for Birdle because he somehow lives through and the Prey Seeker goes wide. Birdle barely gets out with his life, but Jin Zhao not so lucky. And the siege can continue for BLG.
Oh, BLG, they've just taken a single inch and made a mile out of it. Baron buff snowballing through the bot side. They keep taking down this turret on, spots Meteor, but rank of his ultimate for huge follow-up range. Meteor on his own, but looking for the assassination.
It's 1v1, or so he thought. Knight arrives on the play. And Meteor, that's Fate's call, and the W lands from Elk! The Hunter finds his mark after all, and it's Kindred that is the mark this time around. Haichao, now desperate to find his own escape, should be able to get over to the rest of his team. 50-50 against a Kindred. Because that Lamb's Respite makes things a little unfair.
And it's just coming up right now. Xi'an doesn't have the tier 3 of his own Pyroclasm. Here goes On!
On just dives into the mix. Can they find Birdle? But On is the one to go down instead. Birdle burning on the back line, but still alive. The Poppycopter looking as the Lamb's Respite on the back line. Everybody's so low as now it's Chaos to finish the health bars. LGD are winning it out. True Chopper Barrage across the team as Xi'an will go down to Haichao. No, misses the chains, and Xi'an turns it around. Turns golden. Both of them golden. But there's a shot from Xiaoya. Redemption from the pick earlier. And Elder now on
which wins the day for LGD. They're going to get themselves the Elder Dragon. They're not going to be able to push in on this wave, but Knight has to teleport back to base. It's the only surviving member of BLG. LGD, they haven't found themselves a clean team fight for a while.
As they start this Baron off, no way BLG can contest. And LGD might just be on the cusp of a massive upset to end their group stage.
Oh man, BLG, they have been criticized for not taking games seriously, for being disrespectful.
Out. That's why LGT are pulling the trigger. They're desperate to finish the game before Elder's gone. They've only got 9 seconds left to work with. And the buff will time out. That is BLG's opportunity to try and flip things on their head. Last second of Elder as Knight gets back onto the fountain and will survive. Meteor's used the Lamb's Respite and he goes down. That's 2 kills as BLG hunt for more. Xi'an turns golden, keeps himself alive. Xiaoya misses the Q. He's underneath the tower and he will fall, but it's traded for Birdle. Haichao now has to escape. Xiaoya as well, fleeing for his life. And a TP behind enemy lines from Bin. He wants the flank to save the game. Haichao and Xiaoya, can they do the impossible against BLG? Bin gets onto the back line, but he's just not tanky enough. Xiaoya has the damage and Haichao finishes the job. And now Xiaoya, a chance to prove his quality. But Elk dives onto his opposite man and Knight finishes the job. Haichao versus to end BLG's hopes in this game. The minions are pouring in through the mid lane as Haichao buys time, denies the recalls and looks for a pick, but on out. Plays it! Haichao down! BLG back in the game!
LG! There are so many people to keep your eyes on. 1v1!
Knight and Haichao in a 1v1 flash from Knight, but Haichao finds it! 1,000 gold! And a 1v1 against one of the best. Birdle forced to flash. True Shot Barrage hits the rest of BLG though. And in the meantime, Elder's already started. This is 4v5 across the map as Haichao is looking to try and end the game. Birdle keeps them away. Elder taken. LGD might just have done it. There's a couple of kills coming the way of Xiaoya. He's looking to finish the job. Elk in a 1v1 on his opposite man, but with Elder in play, there's just no chance. Haichao looks to finish the game. He solo kills Knight to set up the win, and now he's the one to put the final nail in the coffin. It's beautiful from the man in the mid lane, and LGD, they upset the LPL reigning champions and find their way into Group A.
These were some of the best highlights from the 2024 LPL Summer Split matchups of the day. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.